You try something new and it comes back to bite you in the ass. Folks, this is the Paul Report. We're running a few minutes late, but I do appreciate y'all being here. And I know you're not here for me. You're here for the GFY presentation. I know, it's not me. It's all good. But thanks for coming anyway. We'll be right back. Roll the credits, pal! All right, well, welcome to the Paul Report. I'm your host, Paul Kravitz. That's right, that's me right there. Let's get rid of that. All right, cool. So thank you again for joining. I know we started a little late because Paul decided to add YouTube to the mix this week, and I forgot that it's been more than a couple weeks since I used it, so I had to revamp everything. Go figure. My bad. I'm sorry. But anyway, I am glad that you're all here. I will stop into the chat in just a moment to say hello to everybody. So you gorgeous people just hang there and I'll be right there. Again, a great show for you tonight. Not only will I flub up a few words, but I may even screw up a story or two. Or will I? Anyway, I'm going to start off with just a quick... I mentioned this on my Facebook page over the weekend, but it was my comedy anniversary this past Sunday, the 31st. And again, I haven't performed comedy regularly since, including the show, I haven't performed comedy since the 1990s. So it's saying that I'm not funny in this show. And I did a couple of one-night things over the last, 10 years, but I pretty much gave up on the dream of being a comic. But as I mentioned in my post, and I'm just saying this for the folks who may not have read it, who may not be here for me, but here for my guest, that date is so important to me because it really opened a gate to the world to me. Because before then... I wasn't a snappy dresser. I wasn't very conversational, really. At least with my buddies, I was, but with people of the opposite sex, people in authority, people in that realm, I was very intimidated by. But when I became a comic, when I stepped on that stage at Dapper Dan's in Somerville, my life changed, and it wasn't apparent right then and there, but looking back upon it, my life changed amazingly so. Just people I've met, the places I've been, the courage to do things. So let this be a lesson to you, kids. If there's something that you want to do, but you're scared, do it. Try it. As long as you're not hurting anybody or hurting yourself, try it. Do it. Because you'll be thanking me later. All right. Another story that caught my eye this week had to do with our old friend. Not our old friend, because our old friend is Ted Cruz, Ron DeSantis, Governor Abbott. Those are our old friends. But this is an old friend from the New England area, a Mr. Tom Brady. There was an article that I read, and it really, the title of it was, NFL fans were not happy with Tom Brady Giselle news. Now, I'm thinking, what could be up? What could be up? And I read the story, and the story talks about how Tom and Giselle's biggest issue with raising their children, it's not how to keep them off the pole. It's not about making sure that they don't, squander their life. No, it's generational wealth. That's their biggest issue with raising their children. I mean, you know, Tom, he makes a few shekels playing football, and Giselle makes her bank, you know, giving girls unrealistic views on beauty. They've amassed a fortune between the two of them. They'll never want for any things in their life. And a quote from the article says, "We have people clean for us, cook for us, drive us where we need to go. This is the life my kids know." So Tom is concerned his kids will think that this is how life is, and he really needs them to know that this is not how reality works. Okay, I mean, I can see the point that he's trying to make, that he doesn't want his kids to think that, you know, life is always going to be this easy and you're not always going to have someone to wipe your ass 24/7. I get that. Some other people aren't so forgiving. There were some fans, NFL fans, who really had nothing better to do. And this one comment, and I quote, "Who wants to hear about tone-deaf wealth problems?" Okay. Another one says, "Wealth is the hardest thing about raising their children. He should try being poor for a day or two." Unrealistic, but it could happen. You never know. Another comment was a little bit more favorable towards Tom, and this is from a gal whose dad was a self-made man, and by the time he was in his 20s, her dad was a very wealthy man, and he had a yacht. She stated that boyfriends had an expectation from her because of her dad, and that was unfair. And she stated that a parent's wealth is not the child's wealth. It's a hard lesson. So I'm curious what you all think. You know, is Tom being sort of like duh about being his biggest issue is generational wealth? Or, you know, should there be a few things above that before the whole generation wealth issue? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hop over to the chat and we're going to see who's here. So we have Mary's here. Hello, Mary. Stan's here. Hello, Stan. Michelle. Hello, my love. Eddie's here. Dan's here. And that's all I can see. Although there are people that are here, but I can't. They're not in the chat. So I don't know. So if you are on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, by all means, say hello in the chat. You don't have to say anything else, but just say hello in the chat. That's all good. So let's see. Dan says... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Dan says there's no shame in being poor. And Dan also says, but there's no honor in it either. Now, I don't know personally. I've never been wealthy. I've been okay. And I've had $20 in the bank before, and I've been very poor. So, I don't know. I've been on both sides of the not wealthy. Never been wealthy. I've never been like swimming in money. Never have to worry about it again. It's not been me. We do want to say hello to Andre is here and Ken is here. Ken McDonough is here. So, all right. So, I mean, are there other things that Tom should be worried about besides generational wealth? Maybe, maybe not. Put your comments in the comment section, and we'll swing back around if anyone has anything of value to add to that conversation. All right, let me take this and bring this up. All right, now this story I read is all kinds of sad, but there's a part of it that I wanted to discuss because it's something that I think everybody who drives has encountered at least once in their lifetime. And actually, I'm actually going to bring my guest in for this conversation and I'll bring you in at the end of it. Okay. So last Friday, a 21-year-old kid who lived in Tewksbury died in a motorcycle crash in Malden on the Fellsway near Charles Street. His name was Kyle Roust, and he died after a Suzuki slid off the road just after 8:30 in the evening last Friday. He was rushed to Mass General, but he was pronounced dead when he arrived there. Now, first and foremost, this is a tragedy. 21 years old, got his life in front of him, and he dies on a motorcycle. He He just bought the bike last week. He only started riding last year, but he never had a bike this powerful before. Now, witnesses say that Rouse was racing a black sedan. So I guess they were at a stoplight, and they maybe, I don't know if words were exchanged, but I guess they just raced. And if anyone knows this turn, when they came around the turn at Charles Street, it's kind of a rough turn, and he just flung off and came off the road and was flung from his bike. And again, all sympathies to the family and his friends. Absolutely. His friend said he was a beautiful soul and a good guy. He says he always had your back. And friends were concerned about his riding style because he rode very wildly, they said. So, and it also makes it sadder there was a comment in the article that said he was turning his life around, which means that he probably had a lot of stuff going on in his life and he was trying to move beyond it. And it really is sad because his birthday was next month. He was looking forward to it. A lot of things going on in this kid's life. He had a lot to live for. So the question I want to pose out there is, we've all encountered these motorcycle riders who are on these very fast motorcycles, and they're weaving in and out of traffic, going between cars, going at a high rate of speed. And it's tragic when they crash. But I think it's not deserved at all. You're putting your life and someone else's life into your own hands. And when I see motorcycle riders driving that fast and that recklessly, I don't wish for them to crash. But if it happens, if I read about it later, I feel bad for the family. I feel bad for, what their life could have been. But they knew what they were doing when they did this. And I have to muster up the sympathies, for this kid. And I do have them, knowing what I know about what I read in the article about him trying to turn his life around. And, there was a comment here that Stan wrote, just like that he didn't start riding until he was 38 because he outgrew the wild stuff. Now, my guest, who will be here for another reason, but because of the story, I want to bring him in. I am going to bring on my good friend and, I've known you, since fourth grade. So my fourth grade friend, Mr. Brian Cooper. So Brian, let's see, shift 2. No? Oh, wait a minute. I got to do this. All right. Now, shift 2. All right. Brian, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you, Paul?
I'm all right. You probably... I got to unmute you, first of all. All right. There we go. So let's have you slide to the left just a little bit. I'm sorry. You're right.
Correct.
You're right. Yep. All right. Perfect. So, Brian, what do you think? You're a motorcycle rider. You just got your license. Was it earlier this year or was it last year?
Last year.
Last year. So, you bought a bigger bike. You didn't buy like one of the Suzukis or something like that has, was built for speed.
Right.
You bought yourself a reasonable bike. What type of bike is it that you bought?
It's a Softail Slim.
Okay, and I've seen you on it, and you look great on it, by the way.
Thank
you look like a distinguished gentleman on your bike. Do you like riding?
I do. I love it.
Yeah. What made you... I'm sorry, go ahead. I interrupted.
I was inspired by a couple of friends, my girlfriend, and her mutual friend Amy. Amy's an experienced rider. Sydney had gotten her license a year before I did. I noticed as I was getting to know her that she had a bike, and I learned that she had, gotten her license. And I thought, well, maybe I'll do that myself. So I didn't jump into it. I thought about it, and just decided to go for it last year. And got it, and just happy I did.
Fantastic. Oh, I had myself muted. Well, that is cool. And I actually, years ago, intended to get a motorcycle. I actually test drove it, and I hadn't have my license or anything, but I test drove it, and I loved it, but I was in the process of moving, like, out of state, and I had no way of bringing it with me. So I sort of, just never bought it, never got my license, never did. And now I'm just, I don't know, just not in the mood anymore. So my question to you is, when you see these young kids on these motorcycles weaving in and out of traffic, going up traffic on, like, when it's bumper to bumper traffic and they're riding in between cars, what do you want to say to them?
Stop.
I mean, it's. Do you have the sympathies for these kids when they get into accidents, and whether, hopefully they don't get killed, but, going at that rate of speed, it's almost hard to, keep it together, if you will. I mean, what is it? Because I can say everything I want about it, but I have no experience really on a motorcycle other than one time in my life. And like Stan says, if there's no video, it never happened.
Yeah, I do have sympathy for, as crazy as somebody might be driving if they die. I mean, nobody wants that to happen.
No.
But as far as, for me, it's not so much the vehicle they're driving as the person. You have idiot drivers out there, whether they're on motorcycles or buses or cars or trucks or you name it, and you see that, unfortunately, a lot around where we are in our area. And so to answer your question, land a plane, yes, my sympathies do go out to them. I still wish that everybody would be safer, not just the motorcycle drivers.
No, I feel bad for, like I said, I feel bad for their families. I feel bad for the people who love them. I feel bad for, the people who have to live without that person. It's, I don't know. It just seems sad that the mentality is, well, I'm a wild person and I'll do what I want, and I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm this age, but then again, when I was that age, I still felt the same way about drivers who drove recklessly and endangered other people. So again, I do feel bad for this kid because it sounds like he was a story in the making. Like he could have been someone special. He could have been, he could have had class. He could have been a contender.
You beat me to it.
You were going there, weren't you?
It's your show, though.
So, it's just sad. And, I wish, I could express my sympathies to his family. And, but I just hope that maybe other people see this and maybe they'll think twice about it. That would be the good to come out of this tragedy, is that they'll look at this, oh, gee, Kyle wrecked himself and died because he was racing a car. Maybe someone will think twice about it next time. Yeah. When they're sitting at a red light and some black sedan comes up and he starts revving the engine and maybe saying stuff out the window, just ignore them. Mm-hmm. Save your own life, save someone else's life, and just ignore them. Go the other direction, whatever. So... And Stan says it makes you more situationally aware. I'm sure you find that as well, being on the bike.
On a motorcycle, yes. I noticed that with, I think it's improved my driving a little bit, because when you're on a motorcycle, it's like you're paying more attention to not just what's in front of you, but what's in your peripheral vision. So I try to keep that in mind when I'm driving as well. So that's definitely an improvement. It's not a bad habit to adopt.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not to say that I wasn't.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, when you rode your bike last year, you did actually within the short time after riding it or taking it off the lot, you were in a bit of a situation. Is that true?
Thank you for bringing up that wonderful memory.
Well,
no, it's a good point. It was the first time I was riding. was on my way to see my kids,
Okay.
and I wasn't comfortable with it was a clutch and throttle alternating, and I had done fine up to a certain point, and I was making a turn, and something I just lost my balance or something. I don't know. Thank God I didn't run into anything or anybody. I wasn't hurt. I just went down.
Yeah.
And I was laying there. I'm like, okay, well, that just happened. So I got my ass up. I got the bike up, and I was going to take a ride straight down to Harley to drop it off to have it fixed. But I thought, I'm on my way to see my kids.
Yep.
The bike was, there were no holes. There was no leaking gasoline or anything like that. The tires
Perfect.
weren't flat. There was a little bit of damage, cosmetic stuff mostly. So I went over to see my kids, and then I went over to Harley. So, yeah, it was a little bit of it was a drop. So,
Yeah.
it's it's something I definitely learned from. So, and I went to a course this past summer,
Yep.
a refresher course.
Oh, good.
And
good.
which was great. And it's
Yep.
really helped me get my confidence back.
Do you recommend those courses?
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it. There's no way in hell I would have taken on getting a motorcycle license without going through the course.
Cool. Cool. I might just take the course just so I can ride a motorcycle, but I'll never buy one. So,
There you go. There you go.
I did. You know, it's funny, and a friend of the show, Jim Piggott, when we were younger,
Hi, Jimmy.
he's not here, but when we were younger, his dad got like I don't know if it was a Goldwing, but he got himself a big ass bike, and one of the first times he took it out, he dumped it and he broke his leg.
Oh,
So I thought about that as you were telling your story, is that, you're not the only one who's done it. You're not going to be the only one who's ever done it. Everyone's done it. Anyone who's rode a motorcycle probably dumped the bike at least once.
I had a slight damage to my shin, and I remember getting to the kids and saying, can somebody run up to ask mommy for an ice pack? But that was the extent of it, thank goodness. So, and
Yep.
Jim's dad, I remember he was a police officer.
He was.
And I think I remember him doing detail over at Showcase Cinemas in Revere.
Oh,
right there.
he did so many details. You couldn't swing a stick in the city without seeing Ray.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Everyone's here. Let's just get to this. All right. So, let me throw
I'm sorry. I just want to give a shout out to my kids, Nicholas.
Oh, no. No shout-outs. No shout-outs. All right? No shout-outs, damn it. All right? Nothing. No. You go right ahead. You go right ahead.
Huge shout out to Nicholas and Nina, my kids, and also Sydney, my girlfriend. Those three are my life, my love, my blood, everything. I love them.
All right, you want to blow him a kiss? All right. No, that one landed on me. Could you send it a little further, please? Thanks. Thanks. Mike Doucette. I don't think you've been on the show before. Maybe you have, but thank you, sir, for coming in. Let's see. I've many riders off the road. Oh, that's right, because you're EMT or fire. I forget which one you are. I do apologize, but he's saying how he's picked too many people up off the road after an accident and, riding above their skill level. So, as people get more, skilled, then they should, go, do something a little bit more in their skill level. But if I got on a bike right now and I was trained and stuff and I was licensed, but I was just starting, I'd be on like a 500, top speed, 35 miles an hour for me. Oh, well, thank you, Mike. I do appreciate you coming on and this time saying something. Appreciate it. And happy belated birthday. So learn your lesson, kids. Oh, I'm not even on the screen. How do you like that? Brian's there. I'm not even there. All right. So the reason why Brian is here tonight is because last week he was nominated. Well, he was nominated prior to last week for a GFY award. Now, the GFY award, in case you don't know, is the Go F Yourself award. I am only allowed one F-bomb per show, and I usually save it for whatever I'm talking about. But the Go F Yourself award is given to a person who has gone beyond normalcy and acted in a way that was worth a Go F Yourself. And last, I got an email from Dan Capello, who nominated Brian for a situation that happened back in 1984. This Dan knows how to hold in something for a long time, man. And he stated that you guys were you were helping him move stuff, and you went out to lunch, and Dan and his friend and got a beer, and they were only 18 years old, and you came up and said, "I'll have a nice juicy Pepsi," and you made some comment about, "I don't need to have alcohol to have a good time." How do you feel about that now?
I think my Facebook speaks for itself. as you were quick to point out, that you don't see a picture with Brian without a drink on Facebook these days. So,
yeah,
I found my inner inner wino? Is that the word that was used?
I think we called it an inner alcoholic becoming an outer alcoholic, maybe. So, Brian, I spent all day creating the GFY award for you. Okay?
What are the odds?
My God. Very sorry to hear about her. She was a wonderful woman, Nichelle Nichols. Very wonderful woman. And anyone who's seen my post on my website, real quick, before we get to Brian, did anyone else's eyes well up when you saw Bones come on the panel and he says, "Hey, Nichelle, been a long time," and she goes, "DeForest." Anyone else get a little the feels on that? Because I did. And then when I saw Leonard Nimoy, Lenny, I got a little bit of the feels. So I think it was awesome. My pal Mike says that you should start on one of those rental bikes that they have in Malden instead of a motorcycle. Maybe I should. Maybe he's directing that to me. I don't know. He just said he. So yeah. So all right. So Brian, I am going to present to you. I'm going to show it to the audience first. This is his award. Okay, and on the bottom it says
Putts.
That. So Brian, I am going to hand this over to you for being a good sport and for messing up or possibly messing up Dan's beer when he was 18 years old. Brian Cooper, go F yourself. There you go, buddy.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
this will be displayed proudly in my bathroom. No,
really?
I'll bring it to work.
Yeah, there you go. Bring it to work. I mean, you'll treasure that for years to come. Long after the show is off the air, when we're all dust, your kids can look at it and go, "What the F was this, Dad?"
I could leave this in my will, and they can make a fortune on eBay.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you... Oh, there we go. I just noticed that.
Oh, just noticed that. Yeah,
you
look at
very
that.
much. That's awesome. Thank you.
So, a hood ornament. You can use it as a hood. Put it on your bike. Put it on the handlebars of your bike. Now, with the motorcycle, are you able to take a playing card and just, like, clothespin clip it to the back wheel so you can... Can you do that on a motorcycle? Oh, my goodness.
Dignify that with the response.
I don't know. Probably
My
not.
bike
Probably
riding
not.
friends probably wouldn't be happy with me, so I'll leave it.
Yeah, you might lose your man card at that point. Exactly. That might be the end of it for you.
Actually, if it's okay, I'm going to share something really quick.
Sure.
I thought about getting my license a few years ago when an ex of mine was getting hers, and but it didn't feel right at the time, and so her son, who was an experienced rider at the time, after she got her license, they were both like, "Oh, well, you can ride with her," and I'm like, and I said, "No, that'll never happen. If I'm going to be on a bike, I'm going to be the one controlling it. And I'm not going to ride bitch with my then girlfriend because I'll show up at some bar and I'll probably get my ass kicked. So, no thanks." And no cards either.
No cards? Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have any alcohol in the house right now. So, but I bet you would rather have a juicy Pepsi anyway. Probably.
Not even a shot of Fireball?
No.
What can you do?
I don't know what I have. Actually, there is a box in my basement that has all my alcohol in it. I just don't know where it is, so it's like it's not even here.
I'll find it.
Can I ride bitch on your motorcycle? Can I?
It's one passenger.
Is it one passenger?
Yeah, you can
I can sit in your lap.
You can.
Just
So
asking.
Taking a left turn, literally.
I'll ride backwards so people have to look at me when I'm going.
Ride like this.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I've always had a fascination with motorcycles, and more of the vision for me for a motorcycle has always been back roads, sunny day, just like going through New Hampshire on the back roads. That was always motorcycles for me. It wasn't highway driving. I mean, I'm sure it's unavoidable at times, but it was more just back road, just enjoying what I call the scenicity of the road. So
It does feel great. I'm looking forward to more of it and doing more of it with my girlfriend, Sydney.
Yep.
My first memory is when I was a kid. My mother's then boyfriend was a motorcycle driver. His name was Bill. So that was my exposure to it, but I didn't get the bug to do it.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. It was a nice experience. We would drive up and back through the streets of Malden, so.
What's the fastest you've gone?
I haven't gone very fast. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Well,
I couldn't even tell you. I probably went faster when I took the test drive.
oh, really?
The test ride. Yeah. So.
Stan just wrote in, come south and ride the Dragon's Tail. Do you want to tell me about the Dragon's Tail? What is that? Is that a...
Stan would have to tell you about that.
Oh.
because
I thought maybe it was something like in the bike community, the biker community that...
I'm still a probie, too, so.
You're still a what?
still a
Oh,
probie.
probation guy? Probie?
I'm still a probie. I'm still a newbie.
Newbie.
See, I don't even know what the biker slang for that would be, so I'm sure I'll find out. Somebody will tell me.
All right, so here's something I want to know, and Stan, maybe you can help. When I see bikers pass each other, they always put their hand down as if to wave at them. Is that something that is like a club, or is that something that bikers do when they see another biker? Is that like, like, for instance, Hell's Angels or something? Like if you're in the club, then you can... No! I accidentally hit a button, so I have to tell you, if you're going to watch the show, it's going to be Tuesday nights at 9 p.m., Facebook Live and YouTube. If you want to subscribe to the Paul Report, subscribe on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You got questions, comments, ideas for the show, GFY nomination, you want to be a guest, you want to be a co-host, email me, thepaulreport@gmail.com, and you're encouraged to share any of my posts on social media. Again, that only happened because I hit the wrong button. But it's always good information to have. So, there you go. This night is a night of wonderment because my good friend Brian is here. You remember, Brian had said to me on the phone when I'd asked him to come in to accept the award, he's like, is this a co-hosting gig or is this going to be just for the, for the award? I said, oh, just for the award. You could take off afterwards. He said, all right, cool. Well, guess what? I got shanghaied you into being a co-host for the night.
It's a pleasure and an honor.
So Mike says, only give the wave to other Harley riders. Okay, so being that you have a Harley, you could essentially, if you pass another Harley, Sydney's on.
She knows the answer to that, and she told me, and like a dummy, I forget what it means because we talked about that. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, because I noticed that they would put their left arm down. They would put their left arm down and two fingers.
Yep.
And I forgot what it means.
Sydney, can you tell us what it means?
I think it's between all bike riders.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I don't want to invade the code. Absolutely not. Okay, let me just get myself back here and bring Brian on. Okay. So, Sydney, thank you for joining the show. I know you were here for... Oh, she just told me what it means. She says it means 2 wheels down and keep the shiny side up. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like that a lot. What time is it anyway? God, this day has just gotten away. Oh, it's already 9:45. All right, so I have no new GFY for this week. So because Brian was here and we're going to take up the time doing that. But we will have a new GFY next week. If you're the first time here and you want to come back, by all means, like the Paul Report right here on Facebook. Like it on YouTube. Anywhere else, Twitter, Instagram. I post all those. I don't inundate anybody with anything, just a couple of promos for the show. I am looking for a co-host. I'm looking for a regular fill-in co-host to come on the show with me and hang out. You don't have to be here to do it. We can do it remotely. So if you're interested in being a co-host, by all means, email me. And I don't even think I have a promo for my email. No, I don't. All right, I guess I'll just make one. Ugh. Oy, the things you have to do. All right, let's see. Okay, there we go. There's my email address. thepaulreport@gmail.com. I'll just leave it down there. Seriously, even if you just want to try it, even if you think, oh, I'm going to suck at this, but I'm going to try it. Again, step out of your comfort zone and come on. Even if I barely know you, that's okay. I mean, granted, if you start going, saying something I don't like and it's kind of crazy, then I might cut your mic. But if I have to know you a little bit. How about that? I have to know you a little. Someone else has to vouch for you. Never mind if I don't know you, don't know. I'm just kidding. Brian, you look good on camera, man.
Thank you.
You look good. Do you like the palm trees behind you? I know you only saw it a little bit, but do you like having palm trees behind you?
Yes.
You do? You want to have something else? Do you want like a brick wall so you can tell jokes?
Brick wall.
Want a brick wall? I can get you a brick wall.
Funny happened on the way over here today. No, I would not be good at stand-up.
Let's see. Here we go. Brick wall for Brian. Okay.
But I'll tell you, I'm interested in that co-hosting gig.
Really?
So I'm not going to send an email because I just announced it right here.
You just announced it here. All right, cool.
So
let me go back to the chat and see what people are talking about. Dan Capello put in a comment about the thing we're not supposed to talk about.
The thing that we're not supposed to talk about.
Yeah.
Let it loose, man.
Let it loose?
Let it
All right.
Yeah.
He said put Elvis on.
Put Elvis on. Well, like this. I'm surprised it didn't come from Eddie.
Yeah, I don't know if Eddie said anything early. I wasn't really paying attention
Did Eddie show up at all?
Eddie's here. Yeah, absolutely. Eddie is here.
All right. Well, hello everybody. Hello everybody.
Ken says, love the blue and lonesome tongue on the shirt, Brian.
Of course you do, man. Rolling Stones.
That's one band that I like, but I'm not crazy about them. I don't know why. Because I love their music, but I'm just not crazy about them.
Yeah.
Never seen them in concert.
I'm not saying yes, I agree. I just understand. Well, I've seen them twice. A couple of the best concerts I've been to. It took me a while to really become a big fan, but I did. At some point, before I was going to see them for a second time at Gillette Stadium with Dan Bannon. You remember him?
I remember Dan, yep.
I decided to listen to everything.
Yeah.
And I came away liking 99% of their output, live and studio. And I can say that about the Beatles, too. But their catalog is much, much smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot more material that the Stones have. So that's impressive. So,
how many times have you seen them?
Just twice. I
just
saw them
twice?
at Boston Garden, like 10, 15 years ago, and more recently at Gillette.
Cool.
So,
yeah, Ken was saying he's seen them 12 times. Sorry, 12. I can't read. And Mary says hello. You look happy. Safe riding, please.
Thank you.
That was from Mary.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, absolutely safe.
Yeah, absolutely, because I don't want anything to happen to you, Brian. You know why? I would be sad. So, ride carefully. Sydney, take care of him, please.
She does.
Okay. Well, I know. You guys, I think it's great that you two have the ability to just be so comfortable with one another. I just tell by your back and forth on Facebook. It's like someone's trying to out-nice the other person or out-love the other person. I love you. No, I love you. I love you. What's the deal with loving you? No.
You see the smile?
Yeah, that's a pure smile, man. I get it. I get that smile all the time when I start talking about my wife, man.
Because of her.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
right. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I don't know. Yeah, I had really my whole plan was to keep you here, just so you know. So I didn't actually write a story to talk about tonight. My plan was to just keep you here and just have some small talk with you. Ken writes, my junior year hanging out with Brian and Dan was some of my favorite high school memories. What's funny, Ken, is that I didn't even know that you knew Brian at that point. Now, I don't think I met you, Ken, officially until we started working at the bank. But I knew of you beforehand because my grandmother lived in your neighborhood, and I'd probably seen you around a bit. But it's funny, when you get older and this, like, Facebook thing happens, you start seeing your sections start to blend. Like, people know other people, and it's like, how do you know these people? Like, Eddie Zenga, you moved out of Malden after 6th grade. By the way, didn't even tell me that you were moving away. Just gotta say, not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Now you know how I felt when Dan Bannon did the same thing to me.
Did he really?
Left, and that was it. Hello? Nobody's okay.
Oh, okay, that was you. All right.
No, that was me going to Dan's house.
Oh.
Everybody was gone.
That's exactly what I did to Eddie. I went to his house and knocked on his door, and, like, there was, like, nothing. And then the person answers, like, oh, they moved away. I'm like,
that's exactly
what?
Yes.
I had a game of Gnip-Gnop I wanted to play. God damn it. So, yeah. I always thought the front of Eddie's house was cool. It had that, like, brick thing with multicolored brick, like 70s brick thing. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate it. Thanks. It ran out on the cable bill. Nice. So, Dan Capello, are you going to hop on and co-host a show with me in the very near future? Maybe next week? Maybe? Let me know. Put it in the chat. We'll chat later. Now, this is the normal, for those of you who are here, and we got quite a number of people here, this isn't really the normal flow of the show. Again, Brian has been a good friend of mine since 4th grade when he moved to Malden from
Connecticut.
Right.
Well, technically Revere, but whatever. It's a lot of...
It's something. But you moved, we became fast friends, and we've been friends ever since. We've had the ebbs and flows of friendship where we didn't see each other for a long time, especially when I, like, moved away and stuff like that. But always came back, always, picked up where we left off. So it was nice to have him here tonight. So I figured I'd just devote this show to having Brian here and just having a discussion and stuff and talking, because it's nice to have everybody together. And one of the things that I'm going to start doing is I'm just going to start reaching out to people I haven't talked to in a while. Because I think I learned that from you, mister. You just talk to anybody. You'll reach out to anybody. Hey, it's Brian from high school. Hey, it's Brian from that one day in 5th grade that you were in our class and then you moved away. Hey, it's Brian. You never met me, but I saw you on the street and I followed you. But Brian, you're really good at reconnecting people and stuff. And that time we went out to that whatever place that I can't even think of the name of it, where Eddie was there.
That's
and
right. And
that was John awesome. Was there and Steven again. And all them.
We'll
that was fantastic. That was cool. Dan definitely will hook up later this week or later this week or the weekend. We'll talk and we'll get stuff rolling. So Dan will be in as my co-host, if not next week, then the week following. Awesome. So what are your plans? I know I have Thursday on the brain when I do the show. So I was about to ask you, what are you doing for the weekend? But it's Tuesday, and we still got friggin' 3 more days to go in the week. But what are you doing for the weekend?
Drinking.
Okay. It was on the cue card that I was holding up.
Thanks, Paul.
That's okay.
Probably going to see a live band. That's the usual.
No way.
Usually the turn of events.
You're going to see a live band? You never
cover band,
go see a live band. Ever.
Back to the 80s, Fortune. I'm going to throw some plugs out there. Hope they're listening. Lots of great stuff out there. Lots of
Yeah, no,
Lots of it.
if it wasn't for my, I guess it starts with the whole COVID thing with me, and then the cancer, and a weakened immune system. I just don't want to get COVID again. And I know that a buddy of mine at work just got it, and he's, triple vaxxed and everything. And I'm not very afraid. It's just in close quarters like that at a bar or a restaurant where a lot of people standing around listening to music and stuff. I have to draw a line somewhere. And sadly, because I love concerts, I love being at live music. Locally, too. I mean, I used to, locally, when I was in Seattle, I did more live bands when I was in Seattle. Well, I didn't do the band, but I went to go see them. Because you were all thinking it. You were all thinking it. Especially you, Doucette. I knew you were thinking it. But yeah, I don't know. I just think I got other things going on. And just the band thing had to take a back seat. But, maybe I'll go to another show. Maybe I'll get up with Nestor and go to 24 Karat Funk. We'll all have to go together.
That would be great.
Yes. So, does anyone have a question for Brian while he's here? Well, we have a few more minutes left.
Oh, here it comes.
An outdoor concert. All right. Now, see, Cindy just mentioned that there's an outdoor concert at Breakaway on Sundays. That's not a bad idea. Thank you, Mary. I'm not... Yeah, I don't think I'm ashamed. I think I'm just... I don't know. Maybe a little ashamed. Maybe. But not a lot. I just... my whole house except my wife has had COVID, so I would die if I brought it home to her. You know what I mean? I would feel like the worst person in the world. And not that she doesn't keep me from anything, really. This is just on myself that I would hate to be the one to bring it home to her. My kids bring it in, fine. I'll smack them around. No, just kidding. But I would feel horrible if I brought it home to her. So that's why I don't put myself in big situations. So, but, oh, I forgot about this. I am still planning a Paul Report gathering at my house, outdoors, barbecue style. Okay, now I haven't fixed down a date yet, but if you've been a listener or a watcher of the show, you are cordially invited. I probably have to cap it at, 20 people, which is probably twice my listenership. So I should be all right. But I would like to have people over, get to meet other people that have watched the show and say, hey, I remember your name, blah, blah, blah. I won't make you wear a name tag, but I will point you out to people and who you are. So definitely want to get that. It might be sort of maybe in the September time frame, just because August is kind of like a mess right now with a lot of things going on. So it might be in the September time frame. I might, maybe we could do a movie in the backyard because I do have a projector and a screen and everything. We just get a bunch of chairs and sit around. We could watch a movie. Maybe watch... Oh, my God, Spock. We'll watch some Star Trek. Now, it's funny because I would want to watch something that, everyone wants to watch, but I have neighbors that have young kids, and I'm assuming their bedrooms face my yard. And I'm like, why can't we watch Caligula? Why? If they don't like what they're seeing, this Roman story of treachery and stuff, they shouldn't watch it. It's educational, though. So she's very much against me watching anything out there that is questionable. But Firefox, we can watch Firefox. People listing all these. Dan says, don't let Brian pick the movie.
I wouldn't choose Firefox for everybody.
Viva Las Vegas, perhaps?
Definitely not.
It's history. It is history, Andre. Absolutely. That's not a bad one. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
There you go.
That's not a bad show.
That's a winner.
The kids will get a kick out of that one.
Mel Brooks comedies.
Ooh, Blazing Saddles.
Yes, Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit, another good movie. So,
Caddyshack.
I'm going to ping this around, but I am serious. I am going to have this, and I really want you all to come. So, keep an eye on... I don't know. How about if we do this? How about this? Send me an email to the email on the screen, thepaulreport@gmail.com, and let me know if you're interested in being at the barbecue. And I'll use that list strictly for reaching out to people about said barbecue and let you know information. Because obviously I don't want to post it on Facebook, because then I'll have all of Brian's friends and relatives and everyone coming over, and yeah, we can't have that. We can't have that. But seriously, email me your information. Just say hi, Paul, and maybe, because I'll have your email when you send it to me, when you email me. But maybe a thought about a show subject, maybe a GFY nomination. Chris Fallon. Do you know Chris Fallon? He just said, "What's up, Coop?" And like he knows you.
Chris Fallon. Why isn't that ringing a bell with me?
You don't know Brian, Chris. I met Chris doing Lyft. So I've never actually physically met him.
Oh,
but
okay.
I met him doing Lyft.
Okay.
And but he's
hello,
saying,
Chris.
"What's up, Coop?" So he's a
Chris.
friendly guy.
Hey.
So Chris, he says hello, as you probably saw right over there. Everything's reversed. I don't know what's going on. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. It's 10 o'clock, and this show has to end. And I know you're very sad, but join us again next week. We'll get back to our regular format. Brian, thank you, man. Thank you for coming in tonight and being here and receiving your award. Can you show the award again? There you go. Hold it like this, sir, so they can see the whole thing. There you go. All righty. That's it. Oh, by the way, Chris rescinds his hello to you. I get the best watchers. I got to tell you. You guys are the best. Dan says you're a good sport, Patty Zach. Is that an inside joke?
The Patty Zach. Yeah, kind of. That's my full name, as you announced.
Oh, yes. Okay, Patty Zach.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. My wife says, congrats, Brian. Thank you. So everyone, thank you again for joining tonight. Brian, any parting words?
No. Everybody stay safe and healthy and everything, and enjoy the rest of summer.
All right, and have a drink on Brian. No, never mind. Brian, you have a drink on everybody. So, all right, thank you, everybody. This has been the Paul Report. I'm still Paul Kravitz. We will see you next week.